This week is going to be huge. It's not a whiteout that me and you talk all the time, Desmond. So it's not as terrifying, but it's still a ranked game on the road. And we all know Jim Harbaugh's foibles in those situations. So it's just proving ground. That's all this is. It's proving ground, and we're past the point of just hollow hope. I'm just giving you hope just to have hope or trust. No, you gotta prove it to me, man. And much as I want us to win this weekend, how can I go into this game with 100% confidence, knowing the recent history of us in this situation? So, I see people. I know Mark does other media shows with Steve Dace, and there are fans who will attack him because they think he's being really negative as a Michigan fan. It's like, and I don't understand fans like this. Like, what do you guys want us to do? Like, it's up to the team in their results to change the narratives, not us as fans to manipulate the narratives for the team, right? So if you guys don't like what we're saying, fans like us who I think are more rational, right up the middle, or maybe I don't know, maybe that's because I'm in that party, but I think we're more rational and up the middle. It's more about you give me and I'll give you what you give me. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, don't be mad at us, be mad at the team, be mad at the coach. And hey, prove us wrong. I would love to be wrong.
Yeah, there's a section of the fan base, and I don't think there's anything wrong with this as long as they acknowledge who they are. That our quarterback's the best quarterback in the country, our coach is the best coach in the country, our defense is the best defense, and you could be 5-7, and we're still saying, we got the best of everything, and everything's great, and we're amazing, and we love our coach, and that's fine if you want to live in that area. But just understand that other people are realistic. And so don't attack them for being realistic.
Right. Yeah.
That's funny.
And just because we're fans don't mean that, we're here to create some kind of hype show. No, we're here to talk about what we see. We're here to talk about reality. And like in a case of, let's say, me being upset with making jokes at MSU because they're one spot ahead of them, like, you guys would be surprised. There's still some Michigan fans who use the word little brother. Little brother. Are you kidding me? This team has beat us 10 out of the last 14 times. What is your problem?
Yeah, but it's just talking smack.
It's funny. It's cute, right? It's cute, right? Yeah. They like, it's just, I don't like, I just like, the calculations in my head, it just don't drive with that. It's like this team has beat us 10 out of the last 14 years. Okay. I can't help you. I can't. Whatever.
Yeah. I think the concern going into this weekend is really the injury bug for Michigan. I mean, they've been, it's key positions, it's key spots. Like, for our recent, young star of Andrell Anthony, who, broke out 2 weeks ago, he's banged up. Blake Corum, who, is part of the Thunder and Lightning combo. He's dinged up. You've got guys who are, I think Roman Wilson still playing in a soft cast. Like there's just so many guys that are banged up. And, we talked about it post game last week of just the monster workload that Hassan Haskins, had last week. So it just, to me, that it's getting to that point of the season where, it's an unfortunate part of football. Like guys get injured, guys get banged up. And really, I haven't heard anything. I've kind of been, looking on Twitter to see any updates as far as Corum, any updates on Anthony. I haven't really seen much. It seems that they're keeping things pretty under wraps, which I can understand that 100%. As far as the gamesmanship of Penn State, you don't want them to be ready for anything, right? You want them to have to get ready for everything. So I get that part, but to me, Penn State Penn State to me is somewhat of a reflection of Michigan. Like, I think for both of these teams, if you get down early on either one of these, so if Michigan gets down early, that they're not built to come back, right, down from a early 14-point deficit. I don't think Penn State is either, even though they do have Jahan Dotson, who is an extremely explosive player and can make big plays. I think they want to have the explosive plays kind of in the flow of the offense, similar to Michigan. Like, they want to have that play action, take a deep shot versus, we're just coming out 5 wide and throwing the ball around. So I think both of these teams are built pretty similar. I think I'd probably give. I mean, even defensively, I think I think it's pretty close. Like I think these teams are really similar. And I think that the team that's that gets out to a better start, I think you could look at it and be like, that's the team who's probably going to be closer to to winning this game. So what say you, Dre?
Well, I mean, we talked about Franklin versus Harbaugh. I mean, like I think most years Penn State and Michigan are very, very close. They're really a reflection of each other in terms of programs, not only by head coaches, but in terms of, like you said, in terms of programs, historic in terms of the history of college football, in terms of their success over the last 10 years. The difference is 1 year Penn State's broken through and compared to Michigan not breaking through. But this year they're also very similar. I mean, if Sean Clifford doesn't get hurt at Iowa, they probably finish that game off in Iowa, and that changes the whole trajectory of their season. And that's not me making an excuse for Penn State. I mean, like, you having an injury, a reverse call at the end of the second quarter in a game that you still win up 16 is different than your starting quarterback in the middle, I think in the fourth quarter, or actually in the third quarter, going out in the game, right? Like that's a totally different impact, right? And they were up at Iowa, and which is we know Michigan has struggled. They've lost the games at night at Iowa too, and Penn State had that in hand. Penn State they were in it against Ohio State as well. So by all means, they are a formidable opponent. And so I think Saturday really is a toss-up. Like I just don't see, unless like Sean Clifford is still not healthy, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough. And just having if Blake Corman's out, which looks like he probably is, you're not going, just run down that Penn State defense as easily as you think you are. And I know they have their struggles with Illinois and that they're not perfect. I'm not saying they are. But that is a defense similar to Michigan that has a lot of NFL players over there. If not right now, eventually they're talented, 4 or 5 star kids. And, it's going to be tough. But I will say this. There has been a lot of, I think there's the potential of an implosion for Penn State as well, because I do think there's distraction. I do think there's smoke to James Franklin, possibly having to foot off the door. And with their season essentially in terms of winning the Big Ten kind of looking over right now, and who knows if those kids are going to be fully locked in on Saturday. I would anticipate they are, but you never know.
I'm sure they're going to be trying to ruin Michigan's season, because unfortunately, a lost Saturday would do just that. Like everything that. And I think that's the part about college football that I love the most, is that everything is on the line and it can be gone just like that. So if Michigan, like we've talked about it, all the goals are still in front of you, everything that you want to do. And it even more so with Michigan State losing, to Purdue on Saturday. I mean, that's not something that, we saw that what was before our game, or no, Michigan was, who did they play last week?
Who?
Indiana. Michigan played Indiana, but with Michigan State losing to Purdue, it's like, man, the door is wide open. And the cool part is it's been a while since we've trended towards this way with Michigan, to where you're getting to that Ohio State game and it's going to be legitimately, potentially everything's on the line. A trip to Indianapolis is on the line. Now they got to take care of business, Saturday and next week to Maryland. But, it's like that. That's exactly what you wanted when the season first started. Like, granted, obviously you want to be undefeated going into that game and win out. But nonetheless, to have a chance to play Ohio State, and I am jumping the gun a bit, sorry guys, but to potentially have the chance to play Ohio State for a trip to Indy, I mean, if you couldn't write it out any better.
No, you're right. Unfortunately, it's I'm not going to jump the gun too. I was going to say, unfortunately, we know how that story tends to play out, but that's not fair. That's not fair. I need to at least allow
Well, I think it is fair though, to be quite frank. I mean that when you look at Jim Harbaugh's history, like
I know, I'm just Desmond. I'm leaving a little bit of room of just hope and just natural. Just you just never know. This could be the year that, hey, maybe